Hey boys and girls, before we get started with lesson 9 tomorrow, I want to just go over the big idea. We have been covering how to measure angles using a protractor, and we've learned what obtuse angles look like, acute, straight, and so on and so forth, and we've made a lot of progress. Now we're going to change it up a little bit to see if we can measure angles without a protractor, but using pattern blocks. So I'm going to throw some new vocabulary at you, but I want to show you what I'm talking about when I talk about pattern blocks and how we can determine the measure of an angle using pattern blocks. So this is the worksheet that we're going to be doing in class tomorrow. And there you have a picture of pattern blocks: squares, triangles, hexagons, rhombuses, parallelograms, and so on. I'm going to model what this one will look like, how we're going to use a pattern block to solve it, and then fill it in. So when you come to class tomorrow, you can do the rest on your own, and then we can take it to the next step on the next page. So I'm going to do this one. This is a pattern block. It's a square. It literally is a block. The big idea of this lesson is to determine the total number of blocks that fit around one vertex. What does that mean? Well, we know a vertex is a point at which two lines meet. We're just talking about the edges here. This line and this line will meet at this vertex. We just have to figure out how many pattern blocks fit around the common vertex. And this is where kids would make the mistake. Just build more pattern blocks around the same one. Keep your eye on it until you form a shape that looks like a familiar shape. How many is that? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Total number that fit around one vertex, you would just write the 4. And we learned that in a circle, the total number of degrees in a full circle is always 360 degrees. So this column is asking one interior angle measures. Start with 360, divided by the total number of pattern blocks used. We used 4, so you fill in 4. Then solve it. 360 divided by 4 is, well, we know 36 divided by 4 is 9, and then bring back the 0, it is 90. Now we flip it. How many 90-degree angles add up to 360? You just add 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. Sum of the angles around the vertex. Keep in mind, it's the shared vertex. I'm going to start B, but you can finish on your own in class tomorrow. But I just wanted to show you what we're talking about when we talk about pattern blocks. So let me get some triangles. You know what? I'm going to skip. I'm going right to the hexagon. Here I have a hexagon. You will receive it in class tomorrow. I'm going to pick one vertex right there. How many hexagons can I put around that same one to close a shape? To 2 and in 3. How many do I have, boys and girls? I have 3. So for here, I would write 3, and then I would finish the next 2 expressions to show how we can use pattern blocks to get a good idea of how to measure angles without the protractor. Boys and girls, that's really it. How can we measure without a protractor? We're using different parts of our brain, and we can picture in our mind how many pattern blocks we can use. So give it a shot. Feel free to listen to Dwayne. I'll push out some videos that our friend Dwayne explains. He explains it in a little bit more of a confusing way, but this is the gist. All right, boys and girls? All right, see you tomorrow.